Let's see this clip that all of his stands are seal clapping for.
Boot of the authoritarian fascist government. And it will get worse, and it will happen to you because you keep complying. And you keep saying, but my kids need food! And now inflation is here, and there's food shortages, and your kids aren't eating. And the schools are indoctrinating your kids. Now we see a turnaround with Youngkin because the parents are standing up. But too many people keep saying, as long as I keep filleting the state and dropping on my knees for the far left extremists, I will squeak by, and you will not. The police will come to your home. They will kick your door in, and they will arrest you because the good cops have already started quitting. And like we saw in Seattle, the police arrested the man who was retreating from Antifa as Antifa approached him with clubs in hand. And they apologized to Antifa over it. Like we saw in the Chaz, when several men unloaded hundreds of rounds into an SUV, and then the extremists stripped the evidence from the vehicle, and none of those people are brought to justice. And now we are at the point where Project Veritas is having their private, privileged, legal communications leaked to the New York Times, who with a smile on their face violate all norms, all respect, and lack all scruples. And you think sitting back and complying will result in you getting by. You are wrong. I'm sick of this.
Preach. Yeah, what do you do when the FBI is violating the Constitution? Because you can't call anyone at that point. There's no more authority to appeal.
God, for those that don't know, Tim Pool is like a massive lying piece of shit. Every single time that I would watch when Vosh and Destiny or anybody else would go on his show, we'd be sitting there and we'd be watching it live. I've done live coverage of these occurrences, and we did live fact checking of things that Tim Pool was saying, as was Twitter. Twitter was doing a lot of live fact checking, and Tim Pool lies off the tip of his tongue like crazy, and he's so confident in it. But when you go and you actually like research what he's saying, you find out that he's lying. He's just got so many like well substantiated sounding lies memorized that he brings up, and you're like, well, I mean, I guess he's right in the moment, but then when you go back and you look, it turns out he's completely lying to you. There was an example of some media outlet had reported that he'd said some really bad thing, and then in his discussion with Vosh, he claims, look, the media lies all the time. They lied about me saying this thing. And then on Twitter, everyone was sharing around the clip of Tim Pool saying the thing, right? And Tim Pool just lied about not saying that. He literally said it a week before on video. Tim Pool is all sorts of stuff like that. He's a massive liar. That's not even the video that I saw go viral, because he added more onto it. He started to go on about how anyone who doesn't support BLM will have their doors kicked in by the police. He goes on even crazier about it. Where's that clip? Where's the full clip? I'm trying to find it. Here it is. So yeah, here's an extended version of that clip. This comes from the same show.
These people are evil.
I'm asking myself, who
Adam Goldman of the New York Times. Evil. We've got to stop playing these games. Why? They want this country to burn. They want power, and they will get it by any means necessary, and they will use the power of the federal government to do it. I am looking at all...
Little bit of a sus cut there. This is clearly a bit of a sus cut there, but I mean...
all of you right now, and I am telling you this. The police will kick your door in and bash your teeth out the moment Black Lives Matter protests you. We've already seen it happen. You think this is a joke? James O'Keefe's legal privileged communications were just given to the New York Times, and Adam Goldman, with a smile on his face, published it. He doesn't care about this country. He doesn't care about our norms. These people are at war with you, and they will burn your life to the ground like they're doing to Rittenhouse and like they're doing now to James O'Keefe because you dare oppose their power grab. This is not a joke, and it is getting worse. And in the next 10 years, as we enter the fourth turning and it escalates, it is going
the fourth turning. Dude, these people are fearmongers.
To get worse. James O'Keefe is a journalist. The federal government stole his privileged legal...
What happened with the whole James O'Keefe thing? Isn't he the guy that runs Project Veritas or whatever? James Edward O'Keefe III is an American far-right political activist and provocateur. He produces secretly recorded undercover audio and video encounters in academic, governmental, and social service organizations, purporting to show abusive or illegal behavior by representatives of those organizations. So his whole thing is leaking secret shit, and the FBI raided his home. FBI raid on Project Veritas founder's home sparks questions about press freedom. And this is from Politico. The Biden administration's effort to establish itself as a committed champion of press freedom is facing new doubts because of the Justice Department's aggressive legal tactics against a conservative provocateur known for his hidden camera video stings. A pre-drawn FBI raid last week against Project Veritas founder James O'Keefe had similar raids on some of his associates are prompting alarm from First Amendment advocates who contend that prosecutors appear to have run Roshad? Is this a word I haven't heard, like, spelled before? Oh, I've heard... Wait.
Roughshod.
Oh, I've heard this word said, but never seen it typed. It's so weird. Roughshod... Okay. Roughshod over Justice Department media policies and a federal law protecting journalists. Adding to the drama surrounding the brewing court showdown, it stems from a politically sensitive investigation into the alleged theft of the diary of President Joe Biden's daughter, Ashley. The document made it into the hands of O'Keefe's organization, Project Veritas, which published anything on the subject and eventually, which never published anything on the subject and eventually turned the document over to police. An ensuing federal investigation resulted in the FBI raid on O'Keefe's home in Winchester County, New York at 6 a.m. last Saturday to seize his cell phones pursuant to a court order. O'Keefe says he stood handcuffed in his underwear in a hallway as almost a dozen agents, one carrying a battering ram, searched for the phones. This is by Politico, by the way. So, for those that don't know, Project Veritas is an extremely far-right disinformation propaganda movement, okay? Project Veritas pushed the election was stolen by Biden thing extremely hard. I mean, if we go to Media Bias Fact Check and we look at Project Veritas, we can see their factual reporting is mixed, and they are extremely right-biased, okay? O'Keefe is literally known as like a far-right shitlord. Do I agree with him getting raided for this? From the looks of it, probably not. Even Politico seems to be against that. But Tim Pool taking this and saying that the police will come kick down your door if BLM protests you, that the radical left has control of the military and the police and the entire country, and if you're against socialism, they'll fucking beat your teeth in. It's so bizarre how far these people are willing to take this. Yeah, BLM isn't sending anybody to kick down anybody's doors, okay? BLM doesn't have that kind of power. All right? That's not actually a thing that's happening.
These people are evil.
I like how the video started auto-playing at full volume. Yeah, regardless. Tim Pool's fucking crazy. He's a fearmonger. You know how he talks about, like, the third turning? Is that the term, the thing that he says? The third turning. The three turnings of the wheel of Dharma. I believe this is what he's referring to. Major ideas include the basic consciousness and the doctrine of cognition only, and the three natures. Some Buddhist traditions also consider the, not even going to try to pronounce that, known as Buddha nature, teachings as part of this turning. The fourth turning. Ah, not the third, the fourth. Ah, maybe that's a whole different thing. Here's a different thing. The fourth turning in American prophecy. What the cycles of history tell us about America's next rendezvous with destiny. The streamer? A startling vision of what the cycles of history predict for our future. Written by William Strauss and Neil Howe, will change the way you see the world and your place in it. With blazing originality, the fourth turning illuminates the past, explains the present, and reimagines the future. I'm sorry. But if you base your political ideology off of a book that promises to change the way you see the world, to explain the present and reimagine the future, chances are you're getting sold some fucking snake oil, okay? That's a snake oil pitch if I've ever heard one.